That was a very good clack today, Jesus. Anyway, hello, hi, Kia ora, queens. Welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy, say something gay. Gay. I finished my coffee, so I am now just drinking some water. That's all.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. I am just drinking on a little bit of water here because hydration is important, and I do have the most important thing of them all, and that is the cup mug. Panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Interview edition, period. And you can get your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch. I mean, at LanaGCreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses unless you live in Canada. Then there's some excuses because the postal workers are saying no, thank you. So give them their bags so they can get their stuff, so people can get their mail. Period. Order your cup mugs or merch. Period.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. Speaking of merch, I'm wearing our cup shirt.
Period.
And I'm just drinking some water.
Period. And we are talking today with the beautiful, the gorgeous, the stunning, the funny Lucina Innocence. Period. Yeah. So we're going to talk to Lucina, and y'all are going to see us talk to Lucina. But before we do, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. Make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our YouTube channels, and our Patreon. So, without further ado, Lucina Innocence. Well, to quote Britney, I don't think she's that innocent anymore. It's Lucina Innocence.
Hello.
How you doing, love?
Oh, I'm well. How are you all?
Alive, breathing, sad that you are no longer. We're talking to you. Sad you're no longer on our TVs every week, but how are you feeling after your elimination episode? Watching it, reliving it, all of those lovely things. How are you feeling?
Well, let's just say I won't be doing any walks through the flower garden anytime soon. But, was quite the journey, and unfortunately it had to come to an end.
Yeah, and I do have to admit something kind of embarrassing. So it did take me a couple of weeks before I actually got the pun of your name, but I got it eventually. And I'm very curious, what made you come up with the name Lucina Innocence?
It's actually very common that people don't get it, and it's also more common that people say it wrong. They think it's Lucina or Lucinda, Lucia. I could go on. So if I were to do it again, I'd probably pick a different name. But basically, it was, I had a friend, how can we try to... And she was going through names of like Greek goddesses and came across Lucina, and she jokingly said Lucina virginity, and I was like, it kind of has a ring to it. So I just made it a little vague, and here we are.
I love that.
I love that so much. I love that. Okay, so Lucina, I have to tell you something that we've talked about here on this podcast and just love. You have one of the greatest mugs we have seen on Down Under and across the franchise period. For me, you have one of the best mugs. It's amazing. I want to know, how does it feel being bestowed the greatest mug in drag Down Under history? Like,
well, thank you very much. No, it just feels correct. I was actually voted Mug of the Season in that mini challenge on the episode I went home in with the briefcases, but they wanted to, give the other girls some room to breathe, so they couldn't show it.
Everyone needed room to breathe. Everyone needed room to breathe. I want to know some of your makeup inspirations, be it, other drag queens, other MUAs, like who in the formation of your mug and even now to this day, who do you pull inspiration from?
My very first inspirations would have been, so I started watching Drag Race around season 6, season 7. So I was obsessed with Pearl. I wanted to look just like her. And then at the time, Miss Fame was like one of the only people doing makeup tutorials. And so I was like, let's follow these. I looked nothing like her. I looked very rough for the first couple of years. And down the line, I'd say I've taken a lot of inspiration from Aquaria, Alice Atlantis, a horror, just like anyone that's really muggy, Crystal Versace, like the list goes on.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have great taste in makeup artists there. But I do have a question for you. Before the show started, when you found out that Michelle Visage was going to be the host this season, can you take me back to that time and how you felt? And I would like to know how you felt she did as a host on the show.
So we didn't know she was going to be the host till we got there. We knew Rue wasn't going to be there. So we thought, who's it going to be? Could it be like one of the other winners, or, who knows? And then, so when we got there and found out it was Michelle, we were very excited. So like, get Michelle Visage. And I think she was great. She's obviously got years of experience doing the show under her belt, and she was just very warm and like kind. And even if she gave like a critique that wasn't the best, she'd always follow it up with like, this isn't, about you as a person. It's just about, this one outfit or whatever it is, and gave words of wisdom and inspiration. So yeah, I think she's perfect fit.
Okay, so when you walked into the workroom for the first time, I want you to take you back there, and you walked in and you saw the whole cast. Who were you like, oh no, she's here? Or like, who was your biggest competition when you walked in? It was like, dang it, I didn't want them to be here, but here they are.
So I didn't really know of many of the Australian girls except for Max. So I knew she was one to watch out for, especially in a lip sync. I'm sure all the girls say this. No one wants to be in a lip sync against her. But other than that, I was kind of just learning about all the girls for the first time. And, by the end of episode 1, I knew that Lazy Susan was one to watch, and Vibe, and, all the girls had so many talents. So I was like, well, this is not going to be the walk in the park that I thought it would be if it were like season 3. No shade to my season 3 sisters, of course.
Oh, all shade. All shade. All tea, all shade. No, I love it. Obviously being a fan of Drag Race and then going on Drag Race are obviously two completely different experiences. What part of filming was the most surprising to you?
I feel like I knew like a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes based on what my friends that have done it before have told me, but I mean, it's still very different when you get there. I think I was most surprised about how like obvious the cameras were. I thought for some reason that they might have been, standing back in the corner or like kind of tucked away, but no, they're like standing 4 feet from you with this massive thing on their shoulder, and you're like, act natural, okay.
Just act demure, it's fine. There's not a giant camera in my face, it's okay. Getting ready.
I'm used to it. The paparazzi already follow me anyway, so.
Well, one thing we've agreed on throughout all of our recaps is that you are stealthily one of the funniest queens from this cast. And I think you're proving that in this interview as well. So have you always been this funny, or have you been considered funny by other people? Or is this something that you're just finding out about yourself?
I think I've always been funny, like amongst my friends and stuff. when I was watching that last acting challenge, I saw Michelle said something very specific. She said, being loud and funny are not the same thing. And so I was like, take that, everyone who's like, Lucina's so boring and quiet. I'm like, no, I'm just not yelling it across the room. You just have to pay a little more attention.
I can see that. And where do you get your sense of humor from?
I don't know. Maybe from being bullied or something. I don't know. It's just, I've always kind of just enjoyed humor and making my friends laugh. And yeah, it just comes naturally, I guess.
I relate to the bullying, so I understand. Yep. I'm like, we got to be funny. And speaking of funny, I, for one, and I was the only one here that was thrilled to finally see Tabitha Coffee on Snatch Game, because I too am a big fan of hers. And I sung your praises here. I was so thrilled. I've been waiting for years. I want to know, how did you come to the choice of Tabitha Coffee? What is your background with her? What was the thought process? I want to know all of it because it thrilled me to no end.
Well, I'm glad to know that, because most of the people on the cast didn't know who she was, and I was like, learn your quest.
So you didn't watch Sheer Genius. Got it.
Yeah. So I always loved Tabitha Cell on Takeover on TV. Like when I was younger, I would watch it whenever it's on, and then I recently discovered it again during like lockdown, because they put all the episodes on YouTube. And so when it came to choosing a Snatch Game character, I wanted to do someone who had never been done before, which was very hard to find. And when I came across Tabitha, I thought she was perfect because she's Australian, but her show was also on American TV. So like relates to Down Under, but then also Michelle, or if Rue had been hosting, they would surely get the reference. And so, yeah, I thought, I'll pick her and then just insult everyone and should be a breeze.
The subtle inclusion of Bush jokes just made it even better. It was
the lesbian community.
I loved it because I don't know why Logan thinks they're the only person that knew about Tabitha, but I watched Sheer Genius myself and enjoyed the reference of Tabitha. I was like, yes, I love that show, and I loved how you played it. It was so good. It was so good. But the bigger question is, we all were looking forward to seeing you in the makeover challenge, because we just knew. I just knew it was about to be something amazing on this, because, like I said, you got the best mug Down Under, period. And I knew what you were going to do with your makeover partner was going to be sheer genius. See what I did there. But how disappointed were you to be cut right before the makeover challenge? Because I was devastated.
Oh, I don't remember when I found out. It must have been when Brenda got eliminated, because we had a group chat, and I was like, so what was the challenge? And she said makeover, and I was like, it's like, I see now why they sent me home. They didn't want me to have that redemption arc.
And that's why they sent Brenda home before the acting challenge.
But watching it back, I thought that Max had the best makeup on her makeover person and was still in the bottom. So who knows? Maybe I wouldn't have had enough of a story. Who's to say? But yeah, I was disappointed that I wasn't doing it.
And we did love your look. We saw it on Instagram, very lemon and lime. So it was good.
Someone said sour and ripe and not ripe banana. I was like, guess so.
Okay. No.
Well, I am curious. since we know that you can be a little shady, did you have any good reads that you were looking forward to delivering to your sisters from this cast?
Ooh, not off the top of my head. I know I started writing them the day before, and I should have got my notebook. I have my little Drag Race notebook somewhere, but I had a few that I thought were. I was gonna say one for Nikita. I was gonna say, Nikita, you man, I woman. Work in progress. There are some along those lines.
I mean, that still would have worked as is.
What? I'm supposed to be asking questions. Oh my god. That took me out. Okay. All right. Come back together, Lana. Bring it together. All right. I would love to know about your runway package. What was your favorite part of your runway package? And it's a two-parter. And about the gorgeous Liquid Dreams runway that we didn't get to see, but we saw it on Instagram and Gorgina. Ugh. Okay.
Thank you. I think my favorite was probably either the dessert, the pancake look, or there's one for the next episode's runway that I obviously can't say what it is, but I was very sad I didn't get to wear that one, so you'll see that very soon.
I'm excited to see it.
Me too.
Now we know you to be the Wig Queen, amongst several other things. The stealthily funny queen, the mug queen, the Wig Queen. I want to know how many people on Down Under, name drop as many people as you can that have worn a Lucina Innocence wig.
Oh, on the show, Yuri, Floor, Rita Menu, Ivana Drink, Olivia Dreams, myself, and then off the show, Keita Mean, Anita Wiglet, Spanky Jackson, probably more that I'm forgetting. Actually, Alyssa Edwards asked me to do, not to name drop again, but she asked me to do one the other week. But because I've just moved to Australia, I don't have any of my wig stuff here yet, so I had to turn Alyssa down.
Sorry, Alyssa.
Sorry, girl.
Sorry, girl.
While you're touring around the world as a global winner, no, I just don't. I just couldn't. I just couldn't.
Don't have the time.
Who are you? Sorry.
Right. Hello?
I don't know her.
I don't.
Well, I'm curious. We often get to know the queens with personal stories that are shared in the workroom. Were there any specific stories about your own life that you were looking forward to sharing with the audience in the workroom?
Not that I was necessarily looking forward to sharing, but I did talk about like a few things that I feel like would have made my storyline make more sense. Like I kind of mentioned before that I had been bullied a lot when I was younger, so I did talk about that on the show, which kind of explains why I can be a bit more reserved at times and that kind of thing. Also tied in with like anxiety and I don't know. When I watched it, I was in two minds about whether or not I wanted it showing, because I was like, do I want to watch myself cry on TV? No, but then like, do I want to seem like there's more to me than just this seemingly boring bitch, as people are saying?
I never found you boring. I always was like, it's something so entertaining and quiet about Lucina, but I love it. So I was like, I don't know about no one, because you were on my draft team too, because I was like, yeah, there's nothing boring about Lucina. I don't know what y'all talking about. She's hilarious.
Because the girls would be having a conversation and then you would just pop in and just say, like, you would just pop in with a one-liner, and I'd be like, where did, like, it was never boring. It was always a little bit of like, oh, and now Lucina's in this. And it just adds this like layer of humor that I loved seeing.
Yeah, like I think my favorite part was when you were being asked by Karna who had your least favorite entrance look, and you're like, well, I can't say because the person asking me is who I would say.
No, it's a tale as old as time. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It was one of my favorite parts, just those moments where you just secretly said what you needed to say. And it was just like, oh, okay. Lucina has entered the chat, y'all. It was hilarious. My final question that I have is, if you could give advice to someone who wants to apply for the next season of Down Under, what advice would you give them?
That's a really hard one because I auditioned 3 times and I don't know why I got on the 3rd time versus the others necessarily. So I didn't do anything like crazily different. Like obviously I got a little bit more polished as each year went on. But I guess I would just say, as generic and basic as it sounds, like be yourself, like because if you truly live those words, like they can see when you're being insincere. So if you go on camera and think, I'm going to be Drag Race, like, hey mama, you ready to slay the house down, boots? And that's like not how you talk in real life. They'll see right through it. So just be yourself, be open, because if like they're looking for, it's not about who has the worst sob story, I don't think, but it's more about like that you're willing to share, and you know, that's what I would assume are things that got me on, other than the face
and the wig and the funny and the confessional and the height and the shoes and the pancake. No, I'm kidding. I could go on.
And the beauty, period.
And the beauty, all of it. I want to close out with some quick rapid fire questions for you. So I want to know your bestie. Who are you closest to out of your season 4 sisters?
I hate all those hideous bitches.
Yeah.
Probably Nikita I knew before the show, so she's the only one I really knew before, and I was in Sydney a few weeks ago and stayed with her, so that was very lovely. And yeah, all the other, honestly, I got along with them all really well. Like, there's no one that I don't like. Like, we have a group chat and talk every day, so it's pretty like, we're all just a big sisterhood.
I love it. We want to know your full cup. Other than your own looks, who had your favorite look on the runway?
Ooh. Off the top of my head, I did really like Max's Liquid Dreams dress. I thought that was gorge. Mandy's design challenge deserves all the praise.
Absolutely.
And Nikita's design challenge as well, actually. That was very fierce.
Gorge. It's tea time with you, Lucina. Who did you want to spend more time getting to know during filming that you didn't get to?
Probably Karna. She's so funny and has she has one of the best laughs I've ever heard. But yeah, like my brief time with her, I feel like I could tell that we would be sisters if we had more time.
Yeah, I love that. Spill the tea, Lucina. Give us 3 of your favorite Drag Race queens from around the world.
Let's say Naomi Smalls, Tace, and Aquaria.
All gorgeous choices. I feel like you fit in the same drag universe, drag planet as all of them. Like all of you are just being fabulous models together on this drag planet. and I kind of love that idea now. Yes. Since you're part of the Cup family now, being on the channel, I want you to shout out as many people as you can who helped you with your drag journey.
Oh, I would say Natresha, the motherfucking moment. Oh, can I swear? I just did.
Of course you can. As long as you don't say charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, you can say whatever else you want.
Yes, I said it a few too many times on the show, I think. They nearly didn't let me say my entrance line. That's a bit of tea for you. And I didn't have a backup. So I was just like, last minute, they're like, you can say it. And I was like, yes.
Thank you.
Who else? Mind blank. Lala Loopsy. I should have made it. Wait. No, I'm mind blanking. I've got so many wonderful people in Auckland, where I'm from, like helps me along the way. I've never had like a drag mother or like a drag family per se, but you know, there's been gals here and there who have given me a few tips or who've helped me with my actual Drag Race package as well.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. And instead of a miscongeniality, we want to know your queen of positivity. Out of your season 4 sisters, who would you say is the most positive and uplifting person for you in your journey?
Well, my answer would have been different before I watched the show back.
We saw on Twitter. We sure did. Yep.
I would say maybe Vibe or Karna. They always just lift the mood of the room whenever they walk in.
I love that. And I see that. Definitely. Lucina, you're a joy. You're a beauty. We are so happy to see you on the show, and we're so happy you were here with us today. Tell us all, where can we find you on social media? Where should people follow you? Shout out all the things you're doing.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Lucina Innocence. I'm the only one, so I don't need punctuation. Yeah, I'll just be on there. I'll be doing shows around, hopefully putting out some new music soon, and just continuing to be gorge.
Period. We're excited to see and hear and experience all of what is to come for you, my dear. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Having me.
It was a pleasure.
Yes.
Absolutely.